Oh, hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the 89. So, quick recap. If you're new to the channel, the 89 is a mini flame, 89 classic mini flame. This is the colour the car is going to be, which is night fire red, and it's going to have a black roof. So if you check back right back to the beginning of the videos, very cringy, a couple of years ago now when I first started the channel, we started work on this car. So this is my wife's car, Mrs. S, and we're going to put it back to the night fire red and the black roof because that's why one of the reasons why she bought it. She loved that colour combo. It should be flame red with a white roof, but it's her first car. We're not going for original here. The floor is all like injection stuff like that because it's had like new panels and things like that. Nothing is correct about this car apart from the fact it's my wife's car and she wants it how she wants it. So here's some other panels. Where are we up to? Let's get stuck into it. Right, so where are we up to now with the car? So if you caught the midweek trio, I went a bit quiet. So my Volvo, my daily car, my Volvo 940, check back at videos of that. That was involved in a car accident. I was between changing jobs and quite a lot of things just went wrong in a space of a week basically. And I was in a bit of a down in the dumps. People go there, we've all been there, just got to admit it to yourself. And I realised some things in this car that I'd done wrong. They really were bugging me, and I knew that I've got a bit of a time scale to get this car painted. So I went really quiet for about 10 days, rectified loads of stuff. And the end of that week, or end of that 10 days, I ended up with the shell in primer. So I epoxied it and then I've high build primed it. That's where you probably saw up to on the midweek trio. So since then, you will notice all the riv nuts have gone from the arches, and we've just got normal holes drilled. We've changed the style of arches. So that's where I kind of left you last time, the fact in the midweek trio that I was swapping the arches out. The main reason for that is I hated how they sat. I know Mrs. S wanted them ones because they're the ones the car came on. They're a Monte Carlo style arch. They're too heavy, too clumpy, and when I fitted the arch to body trim, you still could see the riv nuts over it. So partly my fault for such a big riv nut, kind of bit belts and braces, but it's all I had, so I used it. But also I just didn't like how they sat. I didn't like how close they were to the bumper. Just didn't like the look of them at all. Luckily, we had some Group 2s that we got off a friend of ours, so same sort of style, but they're a lot thinner, a lot easier to work with, and I've managed to get them to fit really nice, so we've gone with that. So the car now is in high build primer. Me and Tony, Mr. Wacky, you will have seen him in previous videos, we managed to get all my rectification work done basically, in the sense that we've got rid of them arch holes, we've re-drilled them, that's all fitted, the car is then re-primed in the areas we've worked on. We spent a bit of time on some areas where I fitted panels, like bits up here on the A panel, a little bit here, and where I've drilled out, where I've welded up on the new panel where the spotlight holes would be, I had made a bit of a hash of that. Also tidied up the engine bay a little bit, and you've just seen me there, I'm starting to scotch back, clean back the engine bay. We're not going for a show finish with this. I mean, I want the car to look presentable, but the engine bay, in my eyes, people go mad over engine bays, and I just don't see the value in it. They weren't that great from factory, and once you got all your bits bolted in, you don't really see any of it anyway, so I do think it's a lot of time spent in an area which you're just not going to appreciate. For argument's sake, like in the radiator area there, the radiator sits there, you never ever see that, you see the little bit at the top. It's just personal preference. I prefer to spend more time on the bodywork, the outer bodywork, get that looking lovely, than spending time cutting my fingers to bits trying to make the engine bay look like a show car, because they never look like that from new. Where we're up to in this episode, and like the title suggests, I want to get a bit more of that nice night fire red on it. So the underside of the car's done, and then my goal by the end of this video, fingers crossed, I really don't have a lot of time, is to get the interior, the boot area and the engine bay in that colour. Mainly for the reason then all we've got to do is strip, epoxy, do any fill work that these panels need. Then they can get high build primer like the car, so then the whole car can be, then it have its final sand before colour. So in my head, everything's at the same point then. Bear with me. So these panels, the doors don't need skinning or anything, they all fit lovely. We're going to double check everything, but they all need DA in back. We're going to bare metal the doors, there's a bit of micro blister in them. Boot lid, it's been sanded, I've already started that. And then we've gone with this boot lid instead of the one we did have. So I've drilled the necessary holes, so they're for the buffer holes. Oh, they're for the buffer holes, that's for the wiring loom, and then I've put some nice riv nuts, smaller ones, for the drop down hanger. So obviously we've got rid of these holes where the original boot lamp used to be, and Mrs S wanted her reverse lamp up there. So everything is modified on this boot, it needs to be, it just needs filling, painting and epoxy in. So we'll do all that when we do this. The shell inside is stone chipped, yes. You all love me when I stone chip the inside of cars, but there's a reason, it's good sound deadening, something hard wearing, and I do it. End of, it's one of them. So we've done all that. Inside the car, I'm really not gonna go bad. I'm gonna run a Scotch pad over the floors, and the bits I really want, well, you don't even see these once the interior is built, but I will make a bit more of an effort with these. The pillars up there, all around there, and these door bins, because in my eyes, these are the bits that you're gonna see. I will get some better light for you guys, and across the top of the rails there. Everything else, all the roof is gonna get blown the right color and stuff like that. We just need it in the Nightfire red. Obviously all the engine bay is going to be a bit of a pain because I've got the subframe in. Really, you would do it without the subframe, but I'm not dropping it again. It's been out too many times now. We're just going to get the top of the engine bay all prepped and try and blend it with all that. That's today's episode. So, I'm going to set you up on a time lapse. Loads of sanding, guys, I'm really sorry. I'm literally using some 240s, working it down a little bit on the pads, on the sanding disc wherever I need to, and scotching. Like I say, I really don't see the point or the value of spending loads of time on these areas because you just don't see it again. So let's get stuck into this. Right, so you get the gist of what I'm doing. I'm spending more time on the bits you can see. Everything else is just kind of getting a light scotch. So I'll work my way properly all around it and I'll bring you guys back in because that'll be incredibly boring for you to watch. Right, so I've done my best to cover up the subframe, just all the little pipes and bits like that. And we're only really painting the top of the bulkhead because obviously that bit's already red. I've kind of put 2-inch tape around all the apertures. We're going to get overspray. All of the primer needs flatting, so I'm really not bothered if I get overspray. I'm just trying to limit the really thick build-up when I put the lacquer on and stuff like that. Just trying to limit that down a little bit because we are going to like flick paint up inside the roof and stuff like that. Inside the car, there's nothing really to mask off, so we're just going to go at it. Everything's getting silent coat, sound deadening, and then it's going to get carpeted. The only bits you're going to see in this car, because we've got deluxe carpets, you don't even see this box section. See the door bins and the pillars. The dash rails all get covered because it's an 80s Mini, so you don't see any of that. You literally see the pillars, so I'm not going mental with it. And like I said, I don't see the point of spending time on it because it's just got to be allowed to take paint, and that's what it is. Same with the boot. Fuel tank goes in there, then Mrs S is going to fully trim all that out and stuff, so it just needs to be red. So that's all I'm going with that. So it is that time now, guys, where we're going to mix up some paint. Before I do that, please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is getting really close now. I honestly cannot wait. I think you'll even see a change in me a little bit when this gets painted because this has been such a long drawn out project for various aspects. It's been time, it's been trying to fund this place, it's been financial for Mrs S to fund that car because it's not my car, you know, things like that. So there's so much that's gone into it, and I think I've done like 8 cars for other people in that time. It's just not gone as fast as we wanted it to, but it was never going to be that. And when it gets rebuilt, sorry, when it gets repainted, it will still be quite a slow process to put it back together. Although anyone that knows Minis is once you get a headliner, the glass and that sort of stuff in it, don't take long to look like Minis again because there isn't really a lot to them. So yeah, really excited. Let's get some paint on some stuff. Let's get everything mixed up. I'm gonna clean back my little mixing area over there. But yeah, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment below, anything. Comment whatever you like. And yeah, remember to check out both our sponsors. We've got Minimine over there, so we're going to be wording them up for loads of bits for this. We're going to order a wiring loom and bits and pieces like that. There's a discount code on the screen now for Minimine, so go and check them out for 10% off their eBay shop when you spend £15 or more. Use that code. I think it's in the coupon section. Just type that in, all in like capitals, high case, and you get your 10% off. Frost Restoration. Again, there's a discount code for them guys in the in the description below. There's a discount code in the description below for them. Go check them out for tools, consumables, stuff like that. I am really trying to carve out the time to go and have a chat with them guys, because it'd be quite interesting. We've got a few bits to chat about, so go check everyone out because it helps. And if you really want to be even further than that, before I go and paint this car, why not consider becoming a member of the channel? It is a little donation every month, and it helps with little things like this, just to get stuff over the hurdles and get going with things. So let's get some base coat mixed up. We might as well just slap some paint on it, haven't we? That shutter is so annoying. Right, let's get going. Right, that wasn't a good start. My really nice DeVille Bliss gun has decided, I think one of the sills has maybe gone in it. Yeah, that wasn't good. So I started on the floor quickly and it was all pouring out of it. So I need to investigate that because we need to paint a car and it needs to look good. So I'm going to start on the inside where I know that this gun might do okay. This is a really, really cheap primer gun basically. It's got the wrong tip, everything in it. We're just going to have to do what we can now. Paint's mixed. Might need to get the interior done. I don't want to ruin the engine bay. So, right, let's get onto it. Time lapse, guys. Right guys, I'm gonna have a quick pause. It's really not going well. Using the wrong spray gun is just not working. The tip's completely wrong. I've tried swapping the tips out into the other gun and I can't, with paint already pre-mixed next to you, you feel like you've got to get it on. You haven't got time to waste. So I've tried to get the other gun working and it won't. So it's just gone absolutely wrong. The dash rails all look good. All the pillars look pretty good. The door bins have both got runs in the base coat, which is not a good start. I'm not, like I say, I'm not bothered at all what the floors look like. I couldn't care less, as long as it's red. But I'm really a bit hesitant now to even try and attempt the engine bay, because that is something that does get seen. We're not in the best of conditions doing this. The lighting is terrible. As you can see, I'm running around with a light, like a little torch, and it's just not going well. Yeah, this has gone really wrong. So yeah. I'm just going to let that flash off. I need to let the room clear. I've got everything open and it just doesn't clear. So when it comes to paint stage, you're going to have all the people dropping in the comments now. When it actually comes to painting it, we're going to have it down there. The room will be properly prepped. We're going to borrow an extractor off a friend. We're going to have proper panel stands and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be the actual paint job we've got plans for. But I just wanted to get the inside done because it's a big thing off the list. And that's just really annoyed me now. So, right, leave it with me, guys. I'll try and get it right, but I really don't think I'm going to get the engine bay done today because I really don't want to balls that up. So, right, let me see what I can do. Right, guys, I think I might have sorted the inside. I've just flattered it and dusted it again. We'll see. Again, it really doesn't matter that much, but I guess I just want to do it the best I can. So, we're going to try the engine bay. I've adjusted the nozzle and stuff on this and it seems to be spraying okay, but I'm just going to take it very, very easy and very dusted, like the coats very gently. So let's do it. Right, so that's a very, very, very light misting. What I've been doing is about 3 coats of base coat on the whole car. I say the whole car, like the pillars, the bits you can see, I've been doing 3 coats because I want that to match the outside of the car. the floors and everything like that, like the rear bulkhead and the boot floor, it's just been dusted with colour. I've really not gone mad with it because I just think it's not worth it. It all gets covered up. And like I say, Mrs S is going to trim a lot of this car, so we might even end up trimming the pillars. I just don't know yet because she's kind of going for quite an early look, so they might even get vinyled and things like that. So I'm not sure, but I focused on them and I think I've got them okay. Obviously, we aren't on clear coat yet, which isn't, that's the next step. But yeah, the engine bay I've kind of just dusted, so it's not a proper little. Just gonna let that flash off for a few seconds and well, a few minutes, and then I'm gonna build the red up because the engine bay I really don't want any horrible runs or nastiness in, because you kind of do see that a little bit. So, right, I'll bring you back. I'll tell you what, because this is stressful enough, I'll bring you back when I've done the engine bay. And if I'm happy with the engine bay and we're mixing lacquer, then you know it's gone good. Right guys, we are going to attempt some clear coat. Both my guns are now doing the same thing. I think it's my fault, I just don't think I've cleaned them out thoroughly enough, but I've lacquered the parts of the car that you'll see, like the pillars, all that stuff inside the interior, and it's kind of gone okay. There's a few drips on the floor, but like I say, I'm not too bothered by the floor. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to really try hard to get the engine bay nice. It's just been such a bad day. It's just not gone to plan, and I'm already nervous enough about painting this car, and it's all gone wrong really. So I'm going to do my best. Luckily, if I get a drip, the drip should go into this paper down here, so it shouldn't actually drip on the bulkhead. It's not like it's going to drip where I'm painting. So, well, here's hoping. Right, time lapse guys, and we'll get going.
It's gone really well. Right, we'll let this clear.
So, what do you all think? I'm really happy. It's starting to really come to an end. I know we've got the main car to paint, and we've got a lot of issues to address before we get to that. Luckily, we've still got all these panels to prep while we sort that out. To say this has been stressful is a bit of an understatement. Yeah, it's been a right pain in the bottom, to be polite. Wow, yeah. So let's have a little walk around. So obviously there is overspray and stuff on here. It really doesn't matter. We've got a wet sand the whole car, so I'm really not bothered. I just tried to get the worst of it off so we didn't get really big build up of lacquer. That is a really thin layer. But this engine bay, Mrs. S. I was against the colour because I wanted to put it back to flame red with a black roof, not a white roof, but flame red with a black roof. she stuck to a night fire red, and don't get me wrong, I mean, this is stressful. But I'm really happy with how that looks. That is a beautiful, beautiful colour. Yeah. So what we've done is we've gone kind of in all the engine bay, all in there. Let me just grab a torch. Right, so what we've done is gone like fully in the engine bay. Look at that colour. I mean, obviously the camera makes it look awesome. There is like little defects in it and stuff like that, but I'll be honest, I did not expect it to look that nice. So it's all painted up inside there. Obviously subframe looks incredibly dusty and it has got like primer overspray on it, so, but we'll clean that up, it's not a problem. But look at that. And then inside, like I say, we've got everything in red, and then I focused on the bits you'll see. So like all the dash rails are all clear coated, all your pillars are all clear coated. I managed to say there is some runs in the door bins, but I left it, and basically I think I was being a bit too hasty with the paint. I've just used a bit of lacquer on there, but you won't see it. All up in here. So the roof is actually red as well, but it's just base coated. It's not like lacquered or anything like that. Well, it is actually lacquered, to be quite fair, but very, very thin layer. You can see it's shiny. But all the colour change of the car has been properly done. Before, the car was flame red inside, but now it's all night fire, so the car looks like it was always night fire. Took quite a bit of time on the parcel shelf. My gun dribbled a little bit there, but it's going to get covered. I'm really not bothered. All up in there. It looks really, really good. And then in the boot again, it's got a light coat of lacquer and everything on it, but it's all stone chipped and red. But the colour, I can't stop looking at the engine bay. The engine bay is really the thing I was stressing over. And it looks so nice. Right guys, I think that's a really good note to end this video on. I am really sorry that it did not turn out. I wanted loads of nice like paints things, wanted like loads of little bits of B-roll for you. It's just not worked out like that. But if you've carried on to the end of this video, it has turned out okay. It means little things like we can start putting the pedal box in, we can put the steering column back in, we can source a wiring loom, pop that back in. Loads of stuff can happen. To be fair, by the time that happens, the car will be painted. Oh my God, what a milestone. Right guys, thank you very much for watching. Drop in the comments. I'm not going to keep apologising, but that was really quite stressful. Next video will be me and Tony getting these panels in epoxy. So everything DA back. I say these panels, there's a door there as well. So the doors, boot and bonnet, all in epoxy. We'll probably prime at the same time the wheel arches. Well, we won't epoxy the wheel arches, obviously they're fiberglass, but we'll get the metal parts in epoxy, and then when we've happy with the epoxy, we've done our filling and we're getting them in high build, we'll get the arches in high build as well. And then literally everything's ready to rock and roll, ready for its proper colour. And then that's when it gets scary. Tony, if you've got a paint gun I can borrow, mine are absolutely buggered. Thanks for watching guys, I'm so happy.